Hello friends, I've just got back from the hospital and it was a rigmarole getting there. I mean, most of the journey was fine, but at Shrewsbury Hospital there doesn't appear to be a main entrance. You need a main entrance in life, don't you? Shrewsbury Hospital didn't have one. Huge car park, and so thought, well, something must be going on because there's lots of cars. And then you look around, there's no entrance to the hospital, and then you just walk about. And I was getting quite late for the appointment. You just sort of see outpatients 3, whatever the 3 stands for. And I thought, well, if it says outpatients, I might be able to get hold of somebody and they can tell me where the X-ray department is. Anyway, so you go in there and there's like an empty desk. It's not a main entrance. There was nobody around, not even members of the public. Just drinking a nice chilled white Rioja, my friends. Anyway, so, I'm wondering, there's nobody about. I thought, ruddy hell, and I'm late by this point, because fannying around in the car park. So anyway, I just bounce along this empty corridor and bump into a lady who must have been one of the cleaners pushing a ruddy great trolley outside an elevator, or lift as we call them in England. And I said, you wouldn't know where the X-ray department is. Oh, she says, I can take you. I'm going up there. And in we went into the lift. And she was able to point me completely in the right direction. Once we got upstairs, we wandered down here and all these rabbit holes and everything else. She said, just down there. Thank you very much. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? The Lord can appear to you as an angel disguised as a cleaner. So anyway, I need to get my pipe stoked up. I'm on my Ben Wade freehand, my go-to pipe. I love it. And I'm going to have some Pessy Canoe in it. Anyway, there I am. I went in, and in my own cheeky fashion, I remonstrated with the staff on the desk about how difficult it is to find this place, and that I may be late. But then I said I was working on the assumption that I've never ever been seen in a hospital on time, or a doctor's surgery for that matter. Which is absolutely true. When was the last time you had an appointment and you actually saw the doctor in question at the time appointed? Anyway, they all giggled, and I said I've never been seen on time, so I assume I've got a few minutes grace before being photographed naked. Anyway, so as it was, I wasn't naked. But it's the first time I've ever had a Muslim ask me to remove my trousers. And hopefully the last. Nice boy anyway, as it happened. He was a student radiographer. And when I explained how I think I got my injury, he said, oh, I do karate too. So I went into the intricacies of Mwashigeri, the kick in question, which I think caused the damn thing in the first place. Anyway, so he kindly asked me to lower my trousers, which I did obediently. Not something I'm used to doing routinely. And anyway, so there I was on this nuptial couch, although not so nuptial. I've got a blockage. There may be no pipage today. That'll be a shame, won't it? I'm in the mood for a bit of a pipe. And why isn't that? What's going on? Hang on, I'm really going to have to blow into this. I don't know what's causing that. Does it a lot on this Ben Wade. Oh, dear me. And he passed out. Always seems to get a sort of plug in it. I think we're all right now. So, anyway, there I was on this couch, reclining at my leisure, whilst I got photographed. They did both hips, even though I only went over complaining about one hip. I asked them to do my knee. And there was another radiographer who said, no, can't do that, it's not on the clipboard. Knees A and B, 2 they're off. Looking down the list. No, nothing about knees, sir, on the list. No, can't do your knees. And then the dude that was actually doing the machine, he said, I would have done it. If it had been me, I would have done your knee as well. I said, well, you know, rules are rules, my friend. You as a Muslim should know that most of all. I'm assuming he was a Muslim. He laughed when I said, Mashallah. So only a Muslim would have giggled at that. So I got all my bits photographed. And I'm now back. I popped into the Co-op. You'll remember I had something of a cheese moment yesterday. A crisis of cheese. The lack thereof. But that has been remedied because I popped into the cooperative and availed myself of some cheese. If I go on too long, I'm all right. Normally I bring my phone up and I have my meditation timer. I have, you probably can't see it, is it on camera? I've got my little incense stick burning. I think they go for about 30 minutes. It'll give me some sort of indication of time, I'm hoping. I'm going to put into my pipe some Pessi Canoe Latakia Flake 20. It should be a challenge. Because it's usually as dry as a nun's drawers. I might have to take this out of my mouth for a bit. So anyway, yes, we managed to do all of that today, didn't we? Did me little shop in the Co-op. I didn't buy much. I didn't need much. I'm going to have to rub this, I'm afraid. And it's not easy to do. It's quite an interesting one, this. I think in order to get this thing to work, I'm going to have to give it 2 rubs. But it's nice. It's a nice smoke. I've done another haul, by the way, ordering some of this as well from Germany. We'll see how we get on with that, whether that gets through customs. If it don't, I won't do it again. I shouldn't have to buy any more tobacco after this year. With my tobacco harvest, I've got enough out there now. That'll keep me going for a long while. And next year I might do even a bigger bumper crop. So anyway, I got back. And, well, I'll tell you about it. Once I've got this thing sorted out. People have those little leather pouches, have you noticed? I can't be bothered with all that. And they sort of rub out the tobacco in it and then pour it into the pipe. It seems a little bit faffy to me. No disrespect for those of you who use such methods, because it is eminently practical. But I can't see a miner on his 8-hour shift down bit, you know, with his little, you know, rubbing his little, he's got his little tray. I mean, you know, the pipes are, you know, it's a workman-like instrument and needs to be used as such. You know. You can get obsessed with paraphernalia. I think that's enough tobacco in that now. I think you should use the hand when rubbing out. It's more organic. You get the smell of tobacco on there. And who cares if you lose a few strands of tobacco as they fall to the ground? Mind you, given the price of tobacco, no wonder People want to keep every single strand in those little leather trays, don't they? Now this should light pretty quickly, being so dry. Yes, I know I look smart, don't I? I thought you might be thinking that. I don't always dress like this. In fact, I'm not that smart. I've got a pair of Adidas trainers on. Jogging pants. They're great for working in those. And they wash easily. I think they're a nice combination, actually. Although I wouldn't be seen out in them. Well, that'll do for Ashburn. I'll fire it up again in a minute. But I came back and lo and behold, in my parcel dustbin, I had a number of very nice items to greet me. One was a letter from Richard. Thank you, Richard. And it's always a delight to read his letters. And what else was there? Oh, and my Land Rover bits arrived. I think they came from Scotland, I can't remember now. Nice fella called Graham. Thanks, Graham. Got all your bits. There's all sorts in there, gaskets and brake pipes and nuts and bolts and bits and bobs and all sorts of wonderful Land Rover bits that will be useful. But the best bit of all was this. I thought. He included, did dear Graham, a rather nice book. Look at this. Can you see that? The Land Rover. James Taylor, 1948 to 1988. A collector's guide. I'm going to absolutely be enthralled to read that. Wonderful and very thoughtful of you. Tremendous, isn't it? The Land Rovers are marvellous things, aren't they? You know, they could have been created by our Lord himself. They're so perfect in their imperfection, a little bit like us humans. And the other thing, let's get this thing going. Have a slurp. Ooh, me little inset stick is going down. I'm going to have to be careful. Might go over the time. Yes, that was wonderful to get all of that. I'm going to use all those bits too. I'm sure I will. What a wonderful community we all are. My wee congregation. Now, I want to reveal something to you that is reverently poised above my lap. That is a lovely waxed canvas tool roll. But that's not what really I wanted to show you. Even though in itself it is an anointed thing and a thing of beauty. Now I won't normally live in here. I've got other things that are going to come and live in this. Look at this. This is what I want to reveal to you. This magnificent tool. Now, I'm looking around because I've got so many bits and bobs around. Look at that. It's a ratchet. I can't get up any nearer to the camera. That is a snap-on ratchet, an old one. A thing to be revered. I know this will be of no interest to you gardeners, you poets and mystics, you spiritual people, but to the Land Rover Brigade, this is a benighted sceptre I hold before me. I love it. The heft. I mean, really, it is. I mean, it's dangerous, frankly. I ought to keep this near the caravan door. Well, I can't say that, can I? That's probably illegal. Just to wave hello to intruders with. Wonderful thing. I'm looking forward to using my Snap-on. What I'm trying to do is replace all my garbage tools with Snap-on tools. I've got another couple of Snap-ons coming this week. And one of the kind commentators on the channel said that, oh, I see, because I showed my other one, didn't I, when I was underneath the Land Rover, said, oh, I see you've got one of those really good early ones. They're getting harder to find because there's a sort, their Snap-on is underlined. So they, you know, they may be cheaper than newer ones. I don't know. Well, cheaper materials. But I've got a couple coming. I think they're described as being industrial, so I don't know what that means. They seem to be slightly more kind of grey. I don't know whether it means they're harder wearing or whether they're it's just the colour. But anyway, they're coming. And that's what that oiled roll is for, canvas roll, to put my Snap-on spanners in. And you see, this is giving me extraordinary amounts of delirium and delight. I don't want yachts and private aircraft. Just give me a Snap-on spanner. And a glass of chilled white Rioja. And a Ben Wade pipe. And a steadily sinking sun over a Welsh march. Oh, shout out to Kirk from Kansas. Lovely man. Bought me some more coffees. Always buying me coffees. With a prayer request. I'm sure he won't mind. And I won't say what it's about. But if any of you are prayer warriors out there, Kirk would like you to throw some prayers his way. Not so much for him, but a member of the family. So if you could do that, prayer warriors, it would be much appreciated. You've heard me speak before on this channel about my belief in prayer, because thoughts, prayer is action. You think it, and even though you think it's just contained in your noggin, it doesn't. It goes out to the whole of the cosmos. So let's get behind that prayer and special intention, which even if you don't know what it's about, it doesn't matter. The fact is the Lord knows what it's about. So when you're saying your prayers tonight or tomorrow morning or whenever you're meditating, throw one up from Kirk from Kansas. Good fellow. I think there was another prayer request, but I can't remember what it was. No, I don't think it was a request. But anyway, it's good to remember one another, isn't it? In all sorts of ways. It's lovely to be remembered insofar as one receives a lovely gift like the Land Rover book and the Land Rover bits. It's a lovely thing to pray for people, to remember people, to receive a handwritten letter from people. You know, because these things don't cost a lot, do they, on the whole? And you know, you can really make a difference. To someone's life. I had some lovely messages yesterday. Saying how, it's hard to believe, isn't it, when you look at me, how this channel has been almost therapeutic for some people. One fellow was saying it's even lowered his blood pressure. I ought to watch myself on. Might get my bloody blood pressure down. Mine's all right at the moment, it's bang on. 120/80. We're not far out. I said I'd keep this blessed thing alight, and I haven't been able to. Talking too much. But what I am tasting is very good. Yeah, I was thinking about... I was sat in the waiting room to go in for my scan. I told you, didn't I, that I don't like going into hospitals, which is odd because I used to be a hospital chaplain. I didn't mind it when I was a hospital chaplain. That's what's so weird. I suppose it's different when you're there in a professional capacity. When you're on the receiving end, it's not so pleasant, is it? But I sat there in the waiting room and I was just thinking, you know, this whole thing about death and illness. I watched our mutual friend, Richard Vobes, today. I often do when I'm having a pipe, usually when I'm having my first pipe of the day. My first pipe of the day was very late today, it was in the afternoon. And I watched Richard and he was going through the various vitamins that he takes with the lovely Julia. Not all on a daily basis. And most of them I've got and often take. And it's good to guard our health. Because it means we enjoy the quality of the present moment so much better, don't we, if we're in good health. But there's a crossover point where it becomes dangerous. And by that, I don't mean dangerous in terms of health, but in terms of focus. You see, ever since the Romans and before, everybody's been looking, haven't they, for the fountain of immortality. Is it cryogenics, where they freeze you and then they're going to bring you back to life when the technology becomes available? We're obsessed, aren't we, with beauty, health, longevity. And that is what I was thinking about as I sat in the waiting room of Shrewsbury Hospital. And what is inevitable is that you are still gravitating towards the grave. I mean, you either die healthy or you die unhealthy. Well, you're going to die. And so it's how we, you know, respond to the question of death that's the ultimate question. See, there's no point pumping yourself full of good food and vitamins if all it does is serve to make sure that you live your last 15 years from 90 onwards in complete agony and infirmity, wetting the bed, and other people having to drive you to the hospital every other day. Not that I'm saying any of those things are bad. Of course they're good. As I say, they're good for the present moment. We don't want colds, do we? We don't want to feel ill. Why should we? But that's fine in the present moment. But for some people, it's become almost like a cult. Health and vitamins and immortality and looking good. People have cosmetic surgery, don't they? That's burning right down now. I'm going to have to shut up soon. I think it's better to inhabit the present moment as healthily as you can and be aware of the consequences of your mortality, that your present existence will come to an end. Billy Graham said that. He said, I can't tell you when the end of the world is, but what I can tell you is that when you die, that is the end of the world as far as you're concerned. I've never forgotten that. Anyway, I'm going to shut up because I have no idea how long I've been speaking. I could just go on, couldn't I? And I probably will, tomorrow. So thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for all the lovely messages. Thank you, Lord, for getting me back in one piece and having had myself x-rayed. Remember to say your prayers, remember to meditate, take time out. And I'll see you on the next video. This is Father John, signing out. Cheerio.